I haven't done one of these videos in a while, so I'm a little rusty at it. But we're gonna move ahead with it anyway. As you know, I call my dad at 6:30 every morning, and we talk. And this morning we had a particularly good talk. Now I can't tell you everything that we talked about, but we did talk about Juneteenth, about being an American, but especially a black male in America. If you don't know about Juneteenth, it is June 19th. It just became a federal holiday. Not many people knew about it up until a few years ago. It was used in hushed tones, as we would say in my family. And it's celebrated in, I believe it was Galveston, Texas. It was the day that the last slaves were free in Texas. The very last slaves found out that they were free. And they had a celebration, and that was June 19th. They had a huge celebration. You know, Texas, they consider themselves their own union. Everything is big, as they say in Texas, so I'm sure they celebrated big. It was a good time, but now it's a federal holiday. It just became a federal holiday a few years ago. I do these old head rants, I do these reviews. I especially like guns, I like martial arts, I like everything to be prepared as a man to face whatever comes my way. And I believe in manhood. I believe in being a man. And manhood does not mean, now I'm not gay, but manhood does not mean that you're not gay. I know plenty of men who are men that are gay. What it means to me is you walk, you talk, you carry yourself like a man. You don't get into the new age of society, because everything ingrained in us is from thousands and thousands of years of evolution, that our biological makeup tells us what we should be doing. And it's the same for a woman as well. So I don't get into all of this newfangled stuff, and I don't get all into a bunch of the old ways. I have to do for myself what I feel is right as a man, and you should too. So I'm not knocking anybody. If you like carrying a purse and calling it a merce or a handbag, you go right ahead and do that. If you like wearing makeup and pearls and stuff, you go right ahead and do that. But for me, that's not what a man is. But me and my dad got on being black men in America, and I do, and most black people do, love this country, even though it doesn't love us. And that's just a fact. That's not even something that can readily be debated. What has happened over the past 40 years is man has been emasculated, and especially the black man. And we've been made to think, because the Constitution, which still there says all men are created equal, that now we are at that place where we are equal. And for those of us who know, we know that that is just not the truth. For those of us who read and who study and who have lived it. And in my generation, I just my generation alone, and I'm about to turn 52, I've seen that that's not the truth. We still have a lot of hurdles to face. Now, you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to, but I'm telling you the honest truth. My dad is 78. He's seen a bunch, and we talked this morning about the changes that we've saw. We've got gym shoes, and we've got all this flashy stuff, and we have all of these distractions, not only to take us away from manhood, but to take us away from reality. They may not call you a second-class citizen anymore. They may not label you. They may not come right out and tell you that they don't like you until 6-7 years ago. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. But they've been slowly trying to progress back to laws that prohibit us, that once again really handcuff us and let us know who they feel we are. And I'm not going to let that hinder me. My dad said that he is worried because I like guns, blood sports. I like all of that. And with the technology, they are tracking us. So he is worried because of some of the items that I have that have been logged, that I have put a target on my back. I guess what I'm trying to say on this Juneteenth is be cautious, but don't be a coward. Be cautious, but don't be a coward. And what I mean by that is I'm going to live the best life that I can. It's not necessarily a white life. It's not a black life. It's not an Indian life. It's my life. Don't go by the stereotypes. If you want to do something, go out there and do it. And that's what I'm doing. So I go shoot. I might bowl. I might join a book club, which I have. I'll read and get my education up. It may be something that in your neighborhood they tell you, don't do that, that's white. Or you might be white and they say, don't do that because it's black. No matter what you do, it's not going to be enough for somebody. So you have to do what's best for you at all times within the guidelines of the law. And I don't keep switching back and forth, but within the guidelines of the law, try to stay under the radar, men, women, because it seems like the world is more lax, but all of these cameras, all of this Instagram, all of this stuff all this YouTube is there to document and is forever what you do. You have to remember that we have to be not just good, but the best. And we have to know our stuff on whatever we do. We have a second set of rules that we have to abide by in order to make it in this country. So, on this Juneteenth, please celebrate. It's a celebration. It is huge. But also be very, very cautious of what's going on. 4th of July is coming up, 250th anniversary, and it's not meant for us. It's not. I'm gonna do another video on that, but it's not meant for us. There are people who are in very high places that have in no uncertain terms told you what you mean to them. They've come out with these numbers and letters and things that they have for years, these what we call dog whistles, to let people know what they feel about them and what actually is, how they really feel about you. We're too busy working, getting the next thing on Facebook, or we're distracted. Just remember that. I don't know if you'll get anything out of this. This is just something that was on my mind this morning, and I just needed to get that off my chest. So, hey, be careful. Be safe out there. And until next time, and you know there will be a next time, I'm out.